if you spend a lot of time outdoors, you know, if you camp a lot, hunt a lot, and hike a lot, you see a lot of the typical things in the woods, wild animals. You might see snakes, you might see things like that. You might run up on, you know, another hiker or another hunter. Some different things like that, that's pretty common, especially around here in Appalachia. However, one night when I was camping, I saw something that was extremely out of the ordinary. I used to camp quite a bit, and you know, I'd put a backpack on and I would hike to my campsite, and there was this clearing that was on top of a mountain. You could go up there, and people built bonfires there and things like that, but you could go up there and you could look over the mountain and you could see down onto the town, right? So it was on top of the mountain, you could see down on the town. People go there with binoculars and look, and they would do things, you know, they would have bonfires and things, park there and drink and everything. So I hiked up that location. I didn't want to be right there in that location, right? So I hiked off about 150 yards from that location into the woods. And I set my tent up, and I was there. This is my second day that I was there, and it was up in the middle of the night. I can't remember exactly what time that it was at night. I know it was completely dark. There was a moon, a full moon actually, come to think about it. That makes sense, actually, considering what I saw. But I heard up in the night, I heard some vehicles, some ATVs, what it sounded like, coming up the mountain. And so I just stayed where I was, and then they shut off, right? So after about probably 30 minutes, I heard from that distance away some real loud talking. And then I heard like chanting. So I said, what is going on anyway? Why are they, because you could hear everybody was saying the same thing. And there was a group of people, I could tell by the way that it sounded. So I eased out to get a little closer look. And when I came to the edge of that clearing where I could see, they had built a fire up, like a bonfire up, and there was people standing around that bonfire, and they all had like candles in their hands, and they had like black robes on with hoods on. And I'm thinking, this is an occult ceremony. This is satanic ceremony here on this mountain that I'm watching. And they were chanting some strange, like a strange language actually, and they were all chanting in unison at the same time pretty much. And I knew what was going on when I saw that, and I wasn't going to say anything, that's for sure. I mean, I was armed, but more than likely they were armed too, and there was a group of those people doing that. And they actually had a chicken that they're going to sacrifice because I saw it in the cage. I didn't watch the whole thing because I didn't want to see it, but I eased on back to my campsite, and I stayed quiet for the rest of the night, and they left after a couple of hours. But that's the strangest thing I had saw, and I saw since here in Appalachia. I saw a few things here, you know, like one day I saw a buffalo behind my mom's house, actually. I was like, what in the world? Buffalo behind my mom's house, but it had got out of somebody else's lot, is what it was. It was like a, it was a domestic buffalo because this isn't the plains, but somebody had that thing. I don't know who it belonged to, still gets to this day, but it had to be somebody's that got out. And it went away, and I guess they got it captured. And I saw that. I saw 3 black bears actually chasing my dog one time. I was squirrel hunting, and I was sitting down, I was still hunting, and I had my dog, and I was waiting to see, you know, if the dog picked up a trail or treated a squirrel or anything like that. And it was off, and then the dog was gone for about probably 10 minutes, and I heard the awful commotion coming back through. And that dog had those 3 black bears chasing that dog. So he must have ran into those bears and they chased him away. But there was 3 black bears chasing that dog. So that's pretty much the strangest things I've saw here. But that first thing when I was camping was actually kind of spooky because it shows that we have satanic shit going on here too, and here in Appalachia too. And it's probably like that in most towns. I saw Richie from Boston. He was doing a video, I think it was on his channel, Jailbreak Overlander. And he was somewhere in the desert, and he went off. There was these old buildings, and there was all kinds of satanic symbols there in those buildings. So that's one thing that happens a lot all over the country, is satanic Satan worship. A lot of people in government do that, and it just gets bigger and bigger the higher they go up, the more satanic they got to be, I guess, to get more and more power through Satan. But in the end, you know, they'll get the reward in the end, as the saying goes. But I saw that, and I don't know who it was to this day. I don't know who they were, because they all had the black hoods on, and they all had that candle. It was actually white candles. Is that normal to have a white candle when you're doing a satanic ceremony? I know they have different color of candles for different things, I think. I don't know too much about it, but I read that somewhere. They have different colors of candles for different spells, maybe. So maybe just casting the spell. I don't know what they were doing, but they were around in a circle, had the black robes on, and all of them had black robes on. You would think that one of them would have a different color robe on, maybe the leader of the coven or the cult. But no, they had all black robes on with the hood over, and it's all holding white candles. They're going to sacrifice that chicken. Maybe they're just making it up as they went along. You know, I don't know. You can buy books online, no doubt about all that stuff. And even back then, you probably could. Like I said, I think I said it's been like 15, 20 years ago when that was. So anyways, guys, let me know what you have experienced where you are. What is the strangest thing you've ever seen in your area? It doesn't have to be in the forest. It can be, you know, around your house or anywhere. What's the strangest thing you saw where you are, where you live at, without giving your location away, your exact location? I don't want you to do that. That's probably, as far as I can think of right now. My dad had some stories of stuff he saw, but he was drunk a lot. So who knows if he actually saw these things or not. I mean, I don't know. He was talking about one time he was sitting down on this old road, and he parked his car, and he was sitting back on the trunk. And the trunk was facing the road, and he said he kept hearing something coming, and it said it sounded like it was getting his breath really hard and blowing. And it got right in his face, he said, but he couldn't see anything. So he may have been on, he wasn't on acid because he didn't do drugs, thinking he'd done drugs later. He got on to some hard drugs later on in his life, but at that time, as far as I know, he just drank. So you wouldn't think you'd see things like that when you was drunk, unless you was on something like LSD or something like that, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's what he told anyway, so who knows. My grandpa told a story one time that he was, when he was a teenager, he was walking home. He walked everywhere when he was a teenager. And he was walking home one night, and there was this dump that was, you know, you had the road where he's walking at, and it was like a dirt road as far as I know. Because like I said, he was a teenager. So this had been back in the 1930s, actually. Probably late 1930s, early 1940s. But there was a dump where people would dump their stuff. There wasn't no local dump where you could actually dump stuff that was where it would be hauled in and things like that. We have that here now. But they would just pick a spot, a land nobody really owned or claimed, and they would just dump their junk out there. Not a good practice, that's what they did, and they did that around here in different places until probably 10 years ago or so that people were doing that, seemed like. But anyway, he's walking home, and he said he saw something down in the dump, and he said it was, looked like a man, and he said it was kind of hunched over, like, you know. And he said he stopped and asked, "You need some help? Are you okay? What are you doing down there?" And the guy never spoke, he said. Never said anything back, never even looked up, just there, sitting down with his head down. Well, my grandpa said he picked a rock up, a good sized rock, and just wham, threw it down to there and hit the guy right in the chest, he said. And he said when he hit the guy in the chest, that like wings came out and it flew right over top of his head. So it kind of reminds me of that Jeepers Creepers movie. He told us a bit of truth. I don't know. He swore to it that it was the truth. And like I said, that was years ago, so I have no idea if it's true or not. That's what he said. And he told that story all my life, that he saw that. And I believe he actually believes he saw that. And he may have, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying it was a dream, I'm not saying anything like that, because I don't know. But he swore to it that it actually happened, but it sounds unreal, I know, like a demon come out with wings like Jeepers Creepers and fly over top of his head. I think that's the most strangest thing I can think of, strangest things I know about here. Anyways, no real thought in this video. I want to get worn out today before it got too late and the sun went down. I've done some other stuff today and didn't have much time, so I just wanted to come out here and put something together. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.